I miss that old Braun. I miss when Braun wasn't on the Lakers Braun. I miss the Heat Braun. I miss Cavs Braun. I miss Drake Braun. I miss Lil Wayne Braun. I miss Eminem Braun. We ain't here to talk about that though. But you know what's going on? LeBron and the Lakers. They back in the news again. They'll find a way. We'll find a way to bring ourselves back to relevancy some way somehow. We ain't the Cowboys, so we got more rings in the 21st century. You know that. But I ain't no Cowboys fan though. But we on first take, so you get me. You get me. But when I got the time first take, they be on the agendas and everything. But here back Lakers Genie Bus. If you don't know what's going on, so a report came out. Basically in the I think the team was bought out by the Dodgers owner maybe 4 months ago, 3 months ago, or yeah, 3 months ago, maybe before the season started. In the NBA, I think could be wrong. I don't know. So bought out, and then a report or article that came out a couple days ago, 2 days ago, about Genie Bus and the $10 billion deal that went down to buy the team. To be honest, I don't know. I thought the Lakers were more like worth more than that. Because I see billion. You hear of Jeff Bezos and you hear of like Elon, and I think they got like 30 attached to their name. So I thought these sports teams would be a little bit higher, but what they're worth is what they worth. You know what I'm saying? I just thought I was just thinking that. So, um, but the report came out basically saying Jeannie had fired her brothers like when maybe years ago, and how she doesn't talk to her brothers anymore, and how she feels like she feels like LeBron needed LA and the Lakers more than the Lakers needed LeBron, and I kind of get her on that. Let me break that down real quick. So I get what she's saying a little bit. I feel like LeBron and the media or fans are viewing it as how the Lakers were at that point. Like they were a bad team. They weren't going nowhere. They had no views of like a championship in sight, kind of like a rebuilding stage. And maybe it was because they didn't like and a lot of time Genie didn't have the money to spend. Like they were kind of broke. They were making bad business deals like the Luau Deng deal, the Timothy Mozgov deal. I mean, those are kind of years back, but we drafted Brandon Ingram. Free agents weren't signing, and then LeBron comes, but we were flirting with Kawhi, Paul George, all the other stuff. We had to get, how LeBron is. He kind of like makes a roster to his liking, so he got rid of a lot of pieces that were drafted here, and we couldn't become a team that was drafted like a organic team like the Lakers were. Or not the Lakers, it's the Golden State. Like how they drafted everybody, won a championship that way. Uh OKC, they drafted everybody. They only traded Shea, but Shea was like 21, 20 when he got traded over there because Kawhi didn't want him no more. So, but I get what Genie's saying because it's how the Lakers um like they're in LA, like the market, uh, what the brand they built, what her father built, what's his name? Not Jim, Jim Buss. Oh my gosh, how am I drawing a blank on his name? But yeah, her father, what he built for the Lakers, the legacy of the Showtime, Kobe and Shaq, surrounding that, well, all you get it. It's LA. So, just the entity of LA and the Lakers. She's saying like you needed that LeBron, and your market and what you stand for, what his business endeavors and things his like if he wants to be in movies where his kids wants to grow up, he has to be LA's like the perfect spot for that. So So Jeannie was basically saying like, yeah, you needed us, and it could go both ways. Hey, so I'm not here to judge on that. And her not talking to her brothers, I don't really like that. But I get it on her brother's side. Like, you don't fire family, and the brothers made some bad business deals. And I feel like Eugenie was like, hey, like, our father would never make those moves, and they probably viewed it another way. So, yeah, my bad if I was kind of pausing a little bit too much. I was trying to get that thought out. But yeah, we gonna get into this video though about first take, see what they got going on. Yeah.
After losing to the Clippers 112-104, LeBron James wasn't just asked about the game, but also about the Baxter Holmes article on ESPN.com published this week regarding his apparently strained relationship with the Buss family and influence with the Lakers organization. Of course, LeBron downplayed this, but take a listen.
Quite frankly, I don't really care about articles. I really don't. I don't care about stories.
As a player, I wouldn't care about articles either, brother. You know what I'm saying? If I'm LeBron, shoot, if I'm looking at articles, that would bring me down. You know, you see a lot of players on these podcasts a lot. I hear Rashad McCants, shout out Rashad, but he talks about like the outside of the game is why he stopped playing the game. You know, the outside noise and all that. That's why he stopped playing the game. That could be for a lot of players, you know, like just the outside noise. You could think of Jabari Parker, Michael Kidd Gilchrist. I don't know, you know, but it's the pressure of just being that guy. And then you see articles of why you're not producing how you want to or how you should, things of that nature. But yeah, so you see how LeBron, you know, he locks in. You know, it's zero dark. You see the zero dark 30 when he gets into playoff mode, and you hear about the chamber time and all the other stuff. How much he spends on his body and things like that. So shout out Brown.
I don't care about podcasts and all that type of. Don't it don't it don't bother me. Um,
That's why you went on McAfee though, right? Like another thing too, like if y'all ain't really in tune, but he he went on the McAfee podcast, and Gil's Arena is a basketball podcast. Like, if you don't know about Gil's Arena, you're not really tuned into this basketball game or or your love for basketball, really. So Gil's Arena, I feel like was the perfect time. Like, if you really want that barbershop talk, like he has on his like he created this shop. I feel like that was a perfect place for his platform to go. It's in LA. It's in the backyard. He could have pulled up. It's probably like 30 minutes from his house. You know, Gil's Arena's in LA too. So, and then he goes to Indianapolis because he had a game out there or whatever, and does the thing with Pat McAfee. I have no problem with it.
41
Hold on.
years old.
I don't have, I kind of, yeah, I have a problem with it because it's like, show love, bro. Like, they doing their thing. They really talking game. They really giving game to like people who don't really know about, what goes on in the NBA, or what like how the plays are really broken down. Like, they break down plays sometimes. Rashad really breaks down plays. Gil breaks down stuff. Kenyon gives his 2 cents um on how players just act, or how the game used to be, and you know things like that. But I feel like LeBron was kind of pressured, or he don't I you know he has to see the clips. You know what I'm saying? You can't. You gotta see a Gil's Arena clip or something. You gotta know, like, you gotta see one. Like, you've seen Pat McAfee. I think you've seen Gil. You know what I'm saying? I think it goes two ways. You know what I'm saying? But he doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? So
And I watch golf every day. I don't care about an article. I don't care how somebody feel about me.
do y'all believe that? Hmm. I watch. Yeah, you might watch golf, but what else, bro? Yeah, he might throw on the. I feel like he watches Godfather like 10 times a day, probably too. Like, he's the type of dude to, and then take post that on IG. Um,
If you know me personally and then you know what I'm about, these guys know what I'm about, and that's all that matter. I can care less how somebody feel about me. At the end of the day, how I represented this franchise and what I wanted to do to represent this franchise so when I got here till now has been with the utmost respect and honor and dignity, and I would say loyalty. I mean, I've played here longer than pretty much any other franchise I've played for besides Cleveland.
Is this where you want to be? Is this where you want to finish this season?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Mm, what does I'm good mean? Like you could take that like three. Ooh, like I'm good here. He didn't say I'm good here though. And then I'm good on the question. I don't want to answer your question. You know what I'm saying? I'm good on that question I want to answer right now. Or I'm good. I'm good on LA. You know? I'm good on staying here, whatever. Or I'm just tired.
All right, so LeBron's right. He's been in LA for 8 years. He's with Cleveland for 11, so he has spent a very long time there. Brian Windhorst now joins us here on.
Been 8 years? Damn. It's been like, god damn. Damn, bro. Only one chip. My bad. My bad.
First take. And Wendy, what's your reaction to the way LeBron reacted to those questions?
Yeah, I think this obviously was a very detail-rich story, and when you put all that stuff together, it's a fascinating read. The Buss family is one of the royal families of American sport. It's fascinating, but nothing in there was different than anything that anybody in the LeBron universe or the Lakers universe did not know. This is not new information to them. It may be new to see it presented this way, and I certainly enjoyed learning about all these things. But, when the 7 years before LeBron got to the Lakers, the franchise was in disarray. They had the 7 worst years in the history of the franchise.
Like I said, they were in disarray, but it is LA, so that's why he chose here for his business endeavors. Let's see what he
In the 8
says.
years since he's been there, yes, would they have liked to have put up more than one banner? Of course, but they won a championship. They've been to the playoffs 5 of the last 6 years. There's a very good chance they're going to go to the playoffs this year. It's been a success. And have there been times where LeBron and Clutch Sports create headaches for the Lakers that frustrate Jeannie Buss and frustrate the rest of the organization? Absolutely. Every team that LeBron has been on has had frustrations dealing with him and his representation and the demands that come along with him. And all of those teams would tell you he's worth 10 times that and that it outweighs it. So I'm absolutely sure that Jeannie Buss has been times when she's been frustrated with LeBron and vice versa. But neither one of them.
Shout out Brian Windhorst. I got nothing against Brian Windhorst. Shout out Brian Windhorst.
Are going to want to end the partnership. Now, LeBron can't go forward making $50 million a year for the Lakers. He can, I believe, go forward as a Laker. He just can't go forward at that salary. And that's not an insult to him or an insult or a commentary on Jeannie Buss's feelings about him. It's a commentary on where the NBA is and that they're transitioning to Luka Doncic. The rest of this stuff is just palace intrigue.
Stephen A.
Wendy is 1,000% right with everything he said. He just left one thing out. LeBron was lying when he says he doesn't care. That's a lie. He cares. Okay, he always cares about narrative. He's absolutely lying about that. I mean,
I saw y'all heard me though. If y'all sticking with me though, y'all heard me what I said. Y'all know.
trust
Come
me,
on.
I know he cares, and he cares about narratives. And one of the biggest things that serves as a
He pressed Stephen A on a narrative. Don't say about, hey, this like I'm that type of father or whatever. Like, you can think whatever you want about it, but it is a narrative Stephen A threw out there, and he pressed Stephen A about that. He cared, so
frustrating tool for him is his inability to control narratives, no matter how hard he tries. But that's about it. That's the only thing that you can say or find any shred of fault with what came out of LeBron James' mouth last night. The reality is that Wendy's absolutely right. Of course, they can be frustrating at times. Of course, whether it's the combination of LeBron and Rich Paul or Clutch Sports overall or whatever, it can be frustrating. But the bottom line is that it's nothing out of the ordinary. It's nothing really to write home about. And Jeannie Buss would be the first to tell you, her level of appreciation for what LeBron James has meant to the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, if LeBron James, and I think we need to say this, especially with Wendy right here with me, if LeBron James had arrived in LA immediately after the Lakers won a championship and he joined, that would be different. No, we have to pay attention to the fact that the Lakers for 6 to 7 years were awful.
Can we pay attention to the fact of where he was before that and he did Trainwreck and all these other things and who he is as a person and what he is as a businessman, like what he has going on off the court and what he wants to do after basketball and things like that. Like, like Genie, I think Genie's taking that into account. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of people got to take that into account too when they're talking about Braun and who he is. You have to, Braun's well aware. You know what I'm saying? So come on now.
They were awful. And they
We
did
were,
not
hey, we were awful. You know what I'm saying? But it's LA. It's LA.
resemble at all what Lakers law was all about. Laker Nation was ashamed of them. Dr. Bus people would talk about how he probably rolling over in his grave looking at.
But the thing is though, like if y'all sticking with me though, you know what I'm saying? Laker Nation was a lot of at the time we had a lot of promise because of the young pieces we were drafting. The first round, Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, we had Brooke Lopez, we had some bench pieces, core pieces, Caruso, um, Kuzma. We had young pieces like what they are now. Okay, but back then, like think of what it was back then. It was a lot of promise. We just drafted a hometown kid in Lonzo. That was my thing. A lot of Laker Nation probably happy in that. A lot of the young fans because it's like, hey, kid grew up at Chino Hills, was a part of the Chino Hills, hype train, had the nation going. What they were 31-0 or whatever, goes to UCLA, and then the Magic backed him and said, "Hey, I want that kid." The Laker legend, 6'9", five to six championships, backs a dude who came from UCLA and says, "Hey, come to my team." So, and hometown kid, that's like the dream. So, to a lot of Laker Nation, it's like, hey, that's the promise. You draft Brandon Ingram, but we want championships. I get it. A lot of the old fans are like, hey, we want championships. That's what all Lakers are about. I forget that sometimes because it's like I love my guys, and I hated to see Lonzo go. You know what I'm saying? I still want Lonzo back on the Lakers jersey because it's like that was the promise. So I hope Lonzo figures it out with the Cavs. I know he's struggling a little bit, but he could play a role with us on the bench or something. We need some big guards for defense, anyways. I would trade him back. You know what I'm saying? Hey, come on now. So
What's transpiring, the way that the family was acting and conducting themselves, and too many people, I don't give a damn what anybody say, too many people were trying to undermine Jeannie because they didn't want her to have the clout and the power that she.
yeah, you had Kurt Rambis, maybe Shaq in there, Magic, whole bunch of people, dog. Like she was getting everybody was in her ear. Well, she was asking for it too, though. I think 'cause she didn't know how to run the team. So and other people getting there. Genie and she had like Rambis was like a part of her like head coaching hires or whatever. Like she would ask him, or I think she assigned him a role on the payroll or whatever. So
She had. They didn't realize the respect that she has throughout the league. How she was the board of governor. She was the governor for the Los Angeles Lakers all of these years, and she's universally respected. Now, does that mean that LeBron hasn't gotten on her nerves sometimes? Absolutely not. But not to the point where she'd be foolish enough to resent him, considering all that he has done for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I'm gonna say this right here and right now. No, LeBron is not Kobe as it pertains to what he means to the Lakers. He's not Magic. It pertains to what he means to the Lakers. But my God, the level of appreciation for him should be exponentially higher than it is. Because
it goes back to like with the old heads versus new heads debate, low key, because it's like, hey, you jump ship, like you went to Miami and joined ship with and did the big three, but it's like, hey, Charles Barkley and all those guys did it too. But it's like the amount of power you have with those guys where you were in your career. You know what I'm saying? So like it goes back to that kind of debate because it's like, hey, Kobe fans and LeBron fans for a long time it was like, hey, we don't like each other's rivals, like, Kobe fans, and then he comes to Lakers and it's like, for one day, for one day, woohoo, yes, LeBron. Then it's like, damn, LeBron's on the Lakers, like, okay, like let's see where it goes, and it does what it does. He wins us the championship. Very appreciated. Shout out my dog. Root root. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, yeah, like, it's like that soft debate kind of. It's like, but it's not. What he did is not soft at all. That's the thing. It's just like it was a smart move. It's like he's a businessman, so he jumped ship to LA and did what he had to do. Hey, all good for him. So
because of when he arrived. He didn't have to come to Los Angeles. Nobody else was getting there. When he arrived, ultimately, Anthony Davis arrived a year later.
the reports, I don't know why they don't like mention the reports, like, cause I remember all this stuff. Like, I remember at the time we were waiting all around for Kawhi until like the last deadline or whatever, and then he gets traded to the Clippers with Paul George. We were waiting for him and Paul George. That was like holding down free agency at the time, and then all the pieces got moved right after that. So I don't know why they don't mention that part. Like that's what I'm saying. A lot of key pieces, like LeBron, deters people away in free agency sometimes. Like he's a gift and a curse, because he brings people in that'll help him win, but a lot of people don't want to play with him. I was trying to make that rhyme, but I don't think I could. So
Let's keep in mind that that's a
uh,
Clutch Sports client. That's what Anthony Davis was. And you got to give Clutch Sports credit too. So when we're talking about the Los Angeles Lakers getting to the playoffs 5 of the last 6 years, having a championship, albeit in a bubble in some people's eyes, which I don't denigrate, but others do, the fact is LeBron deserves most of the credit for that. Not to mention Clutch Sports. And we got to remember that and show them the deference and respect that they're due. Again, what LeBron said, absolutely right. You know what? It's much ado about nothing, because in the end, he can be frustrating, just like I can be frustrating, just like everybody can be frustrating. If you're in any kind of leadership position and people going to throw arrows at you, and that's just the way that it goes. But his level of production on behalf of the Los Angeles Lakers and the way that he has represented that franchise needs to be applauded, not insulted. The only thing he did wrong was that he lied in front of the camera, lying through his damn teeth. That's why he's scratching his head so damn much, like he had dandruff. Even though he had a do-rag on, because he's lying. Because when he said he didn't care, oh, that's a lie. He cares. He definitely.
see, I ain't gonna try to do that to Braun. I ain't gonna try to diss him like that. I ain't gonna try to take a jab at him. It's him and Stephen A. Stephen A. said I would have thrown a punch at him. Stephen A. 6'3", y'all, or however, 6'3", 6'4". He ain't no 5'10", 5'11". He ain't no what you think he is. You know what I'm saying? He ain't just no TV guy. He used to play basketball. I'm just giving him some credit, giving him a little credit now. So, but I don't think going against Braun now. Braun get you in a, put you, ooh, ICU or something, bro.
Cares. It's just that he's smart enough to know there are narratives
Coma.
he can't control. But that's it. He doesn't deserve this whole thing with the Bus family that Baxter Holmes wrote and what have you. He doesn't deserve scrutiny for family issues that existed long before LeBron James arrived and is going to exist long after he's gone from the Lakers and the NBA.
Very well said. And I think that's. Go ahead, Wendy Adden.
Shay, Jeannie Buss is now liquid to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. She
Over
is
500.
still the governor, right? She's still the governor. Who sells their team for hundreds of millions of dollars and remains the governor? Nobody. Not only that, LeBron is finishing off like $100 million estate in Beverly Hills. It's going to be one of the best estates in all of Southern California. All the billionaires down here, LeBron's going to have one of the best. He's probably putting in a putting green now, okay? These are all very minor headaches. And not only that, selling to Mark Walter and his group is good for the future of the Lakers. So Jeannie Buss has left the Lakers in a very good position. The stuff with the family is fascinating. Peeling back the layers and seeing how Jeannie was probably pretty ruthless involving her family. I love it. By the way, Jeannie Buss has made television shows and documentaries about her and her family. So she can't look at you and say, please don't talk about our family. She talks about her family. All of this is interesting. Everybody is fine. Everybody is fine. The Lakers are not winning the championship this year. Everybody knows that. Enjoy the season.
Go ahead, Stephen.
The only people that's not fine, are her siblings because they don't have control.
It's hard to hear that as a Laker fan. I can't lie. Can't lie. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to this Lakers stuff, I will say, we need to be in the runnings every year or whatever. But Luca needs some pieces around him. I think we need to trade some pieces at the deadline. Gabe Vincent needs to go. I trade him for whatever, some picks, some cash, a refrigerator, a chef, whatever it is. Shoot, some wings at what's that strip club in Atlanta? You know what I mean? I'm talking about.
The way that they used to. They're not synonymous with
money.
the Lakers like they used to be, but they got the money. I'm just saying, I'm talking about ego. Egos are hurt. That's about all. They all got paid, okay? She's just maintaining her position within the Lakers franchise. Still got a portion of ownership. Mark Walters pretty much owns the team, but he kept on board, which was a very, very wise decision because when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers, Jeannie is the face and the voice, not any of her siblings. Nobody cares what the rest of them think about the Los Angeles Lakers. All anyone cares about is.
Thank you, because the other two messed up. Y'all had your chance. The dad gave it to them and was like, hey, everybody knew, was like, it was iffy because they had no really prior experience, how they ran, I think the Sparks at the time, but the Sparks won championships. So I'm really iffy on how Lakers fans felt about him. But then, what they did with Timothy Mozgov and Luol Deng. And it's like those were bad contracts that you couldn't get away from, and you had to pay those outright to them, and that kind of hurt us in the books. So we didn't get return on our investment. So, and Jean had to take over, and their relationship kind of dies down from there because she fires pretty much the whole family. She fires everybody, which she says in the doc, and the brothers don't talk to her no more.
Jeannie.
Quite.
That's why she's there.
I
with
talk
her
to your
clique,
family, dog.
and they're gone.
And what LeBron cares about lately is golf, too. So it feels like that has been more his focus than maybe these articles and what is going on.
Oh man, someone should have asked him a golf question, bro. That would've been- oh, like, what happened at the PGA yesterday, Bron? Huh? Oh yeah, Tiger. You see Tiger yesterday. I bet you couldn't tell you one thing what happened though. But yeah, man. Hopefully Lakers can figure out with Luca though, because that's the plan moving forward is Luca. We on the Luca train now. Get the Luca chance going on in Staples. So my Lakers need to do something. These people need to do something too. All my LA team, besides the Rams, we need the Rams to lose this weekend, y'all. Shout out my Seahawks. Woo! Let's go. But we finna cook this weekend, dog. Shout out my Hawks. Little story. I became a Hawk. Hold on, I don't want y'all seeing it, but became a Hawks fan because of Pete Carroll. Um, because of Pete Carroll, I love Pete Carroll. They won the Super Bowl too. I was young at the time. Don't fault me for them. Don't tell me I was a bandwagon. I stick with my team all these years, even after the pick, bro. I ain't no bandwagon, bro. So but yeah, and then I find out Pete Carroll, like reading more into football, he coached USC back in the day, and I'm like, oh, and then I read all about USC and all about this, so it all works out. And I had a cousin that played for um the Seahawks too. So man, what a world, you know what I'm saying? Being a Seahawks fan, Pete Carroll, my favorite coach, and then finding out he's a USC coach too. So that's cool. But I'm out of here, y'all. You know what the YouTubers say? Y'all do it. Yeah, y'all know what they say. Shout out y'all.